of what NEP 2020 is all about, and how NEP 2020, how that document is created, and what is expected out of that NEP 2020. So I'll just have a brief, introduction of the National Education Policy 2020 first, and then we'll be discussing about the pedagogies. And if anybody is interested, if you're interested to know further about some latest artificial intelligence tools which are helpful for the better teaching, for better teaching delivery, for better content creation, of course, I'll be discussing that also. So I welcome you once again for this faculty development program, and I'll just start with this particular slide with the quote that the only impossible journey is the one you never begin. So we all are very hopeful of this National Education Policy 2020, and I am one of the fortunate members of the Department of Higher Education, Madhya Pradesh, because you all are aware of this fact that Madhya Pradesh is one of the leading states. It is one of the pioneers who have adopted National Education Policy 2020. And when policy was adopted, and when the overall framework was being developed in Madhya Pradesh, I was one of the members of that particular content creation, e-content development. So I am almost well aware of how a national education policy has been adopted in Madhya Pradesh, and how we are implementing. This is our 4th year of national education policy. It was basically being launched on 29th of July 2020, and after that it's basically being adopted by various other states also, but Madhya Pradesh was one of the pioneering states adopting this NEP. So this quote is all about how this impossible journey, which seems to be impossible, is now a routine mode of operation in Madhya Pradesh education system. So we'll just discuss what was the history of education policies in India. I'll just give a brief of the first education policy. The education policy in India, it was first launched in the year 1968 under Kothari Commission, when under the Prime Ministership of Mrs. Indira Gandhi. Then the second education policy was there in the year 1986, and then an updation was being done. And if I talk about the updation was there in the year 1992, and after that, after 34 years of the second national education policy, this education policy NEP 2020 was being introduced under the Prime Ministership of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi sir, and it was Dr. K. Kasturi Rangan committee which has finalized this draft of this particular NEP. So this was all about the National Education Policy 68, then 86, and then 2020. So we had got, this is our third National Education Policy. So this was all about the journey of the education policy in India. So let me just brief you about the NEP 2020, how higher education institutions are being affected by this particular, NEP, and what is expected out of all of us. So throughout my session, I'll be focusing on the higher education institutions, and how this national education policy is basically aiming to transform the national education higher education institutions as a center of learning that offers multidisciplinary programs. So if I talk about NEP, the basic aim of NEP is to go in for certain multidisciplinary programs. We want science students also to opt for commerce, or to opt for courses like psychology, or if they're interested in music, they can go in for music also. If a commerce student is there and if he wants to go in for some literature subjects, or go in for some subjects which may be related to computers and all these things, so of course NEP offers a wide range of programs that we offered through this multidisciplinary mode. And the goal is to provide students with the comprehensive education that nurtures their overall growth. If I talk about this particular NEP, so it is basically catering the requirement of the students who are there for the 21st century. That means we as an educators, we need to cater the skills or the skill set which is required for the 21st century skills learners. So, and the second is we should always be rooted to the Indian culture. So that means, in a nutshell, if I wanted to talk about this NEP, it is first focusing on the 21st century skills, and the second and the most important thing is it is focusing on Indian knowledge system. So IKS and the latest advancements, they are being on the same track. We are parallelly running both the things. That means whatever technology is there, we need to make our students learn those technologies, learn those skill set which is actually required by the 21st century learners. And on the other hand, we have to keep them rooted towards their soul, which is the Indian knowledge system. So this is basically a parallel route, I must say, which national education policy is taking. And the main aim is basically to nurture the students towards both the things. So that was the basic aim. If I talk about the reward system, the pattern of reward system, all of you are well aware of this particular thing. Since we are following these particular things in Madhya Pradesh and in almost every state, the things are like that. For the first year, if a student is opting for the first year in the university, that student will get the certificate for that particular course. After second year of completion, that student will get a diploma from the university. After third year, the student will get degree. And after completing fourth year, you will get a research degree from the university. So that's a kind of honors degree with research. That is the nomenclature that we are using for the 4-year degree program under NEP 2020. And here, from that, the consolidated draft of NEP 2020, I have found out 7 M's of higher education for higher education systems. The 7M basically includes, the first M is the multiple entry. The students can go in for the multiple entry. That means anytime any student, there's no age limit as such, and there's no restriction as such about the admission. You can go in for a multiple entry. You can choose any any of the courses. Yeah, if a science student wanted to study the commerce subjects and all these things, so there's an option for multiple entry, and there's option for multiple exit. That means if a student is there in the first year, and if he don't wanted to continue with this first for the second year, of course he can exit at any point of time. And then again, he or she can rejoin the things probably after a year or 2 years or 5 years of break. So that ways it is a wonderful option given by a national education policy, that if a student is there from the rural background, and if suppose due to any reason he is not able to continue with the course, and later on if he or she realizes the things that we can continue the things. Earlier this option of multiple entry and multiple exit was not there, but now NEP offers this particular thing for all the students. Any student can rejoin the course and then complete his or her formal education. Then talking about multidisciplinary, I've already talked that we are having a diverse range of courses. A student can choose from the buffet of different courses are available in that buffet, and a student can opt for any of those courses. Major courses are there, minor courses are there, elective courses are there, foundation courses are there. So many options are available under NEP. So you can opt for multidisciplinary education. Next is multilingual. That means even now our students can learn even in their regional languages. So apart from Hindi and English, of course, you can a student can gain the the skill set, or they gain the understanding of the subject in his or her own regional language. Or that is one of the, you can even go in for vernacular languages. So multilingual is one thing, which is the fourth M of higher education, of NEP for HEPs. Then multi-mode learning. You all have heard about this multi-mode learning. You can opt for a few courses from Swayam or maybe from other such platforms. You can complete certain credits from your higher education institutions, and NEP offers that a minimum, like 40%, a maximum of 40% course credits can be earned from these online platforms, maybe Swayam or Swayam Prabha. All these CEC is there, Swayam is there. So there are so many platforms available for multi learning. So you have got multi-mode of learning the things. Certain courses can be done in an online mode, and some credits can be earned in the offline mode. So that is multi-mode learning. Then multi-institutional credit transfer is also possible. If a student is there, doing some has some of his certifications or maybe diploma from Madhya Pradesh, and if suppose he wanted to switch to some other state who has actually adopted NEP. So in that case, multi-institutional credit transfer through ABC account, that is, they can deposit their credits into that ABC account, and then through that ABC, those credits could be transferred to any of the organizations elsewhere who is actually following national education policy. And the last is more focus is there on research. So you've got NRF, that is National Research Funding, is there under NEP, which is offering so much financial facilities to the organizations who are actually involved into research. So through NEP, the more focus is there on research. So overall, an ecosystem is being developed for the for making an inclusive, vibrant environment which provides the holistic education system to the students. So this was all about the 7 M's of higher education institutions under NEP 2020. So now we'll discuss about the expected aim of NEP. What NEP is expecting out of our higher education institutions. The first is outcome based learning. Now the learning has to be outcome based. You should not judge your students only on the basis of marks, only on the basis of their academic performance, only on the basis of the grades which they are getting. It has to be a holistic development of the students. The outcome based learning is more focused these days. Apart from that, personalized or individualized education is more focused. If I talk about personalized education, here we need to understand each and every type of learner, whether that learner is a slow learner or whether that learner is an advanced learner. You need to identify the type of the learner, and accordingly you should provide them you should provide them content. You should deliver the content well to the students as per their requirements. And apart from the delivery of the syllabus, you need to assess them on a similar lines. That means if a student is there who is an advanced learner, you can definitely give them something which is a higher order thinking skills related questions or problems. And if a learner is there who is a slow learners, you can definitely give them personalized learning. Apart from personalized learning, their assessment could be different from the advanced learners. So that ways you need to identify your learners over here, and then according to their requirements, according to their needs, you should provide them the education which is good for their holistic development. And you need to prioritize the education on a mass scale. That means reaching to the unreached. So with this particular aim, We are motivating the students. We are offering them some online courses also, some micro learning courses also has been offered by various institutions, and a very good platform offered by the central government, which is Swayam, which is offering the education which is specifically to the students who are belonging to the unreached population. So in that particular case, the prioritization of the education to the mass scale is a much needed step, which is of course done by the central government, and we have to fulfill this aim of NEP. And then next, I must tell you all that the much required aim, or the much required expectation from teachers is we should be very well we should be very well equipped with ICT tools. We should be very much equipped with the ICT tools along with IKS, that is Indian Knowledge System. So as in teachers, we have to be well versed with ICT. We have to equip ourselves. We have to learn, unlearn, and relearn so many things. So that is the aim of NEP 2020. So if in this particular slide, I'll just do a quick short SWOT analysis of NEP. If I talk about the strengths, we are expecting our students to learn various skills, various crafts, so that India will again be a skilled nation, one of the best skilled nations of the world. Apart from that, if I talk about this choice based flexible curriculum, that means we expect that students they can opt for any of the courses, any of the subjects they want, and it is more of learner centric, keeping the learner's requirement into center. We provide them the education, we provide them the content, and we look for their overall development, and apart from that, we assess them according to their requirement only. Then next is faculty development. NEPs, or again focusing on the overall development of the faculties. So you might have heard about various training programs, various faculty development programs being offered by the central government, various state level government. They are providing faculty development programs. So as the aim of NEP is to develop faculty and to equip them with the latest skills. The next is multidisciplinary. We have already discussed, and multilingualism is one of the strengths which is being offered by NEP. If I talk about the opportunities, yes, we can go in for foreign collaborations. Privatization could be one. Then sharing of resources is the best thing. I must tell you that we can, of course, share the resources based on public-private partnership model. And the scope of creativity and innovation is more because there is always some scope to learn something new. We have been listening to the things like hackathons, ideathons, and apart from that, startup culture is being incorporated in higher education institution, which is one of the initiatives which is being taken by the higher education institutions working under NEP. And apart from that, if I talk about the weaknesses, of course, infrastructure is something which is missing. Mindset of teachers as well as students is something which is again lacking over here. Lack of vision, poor trainings being because if you talk about training, um, not all the institutions are providing training. Not all the higher education institution teachers are taking training. So that is one of the weaknesses. If I talk about the challenges and threats, the implementation issue is of course one of those challenges. Autonomy is one of those challenges. practical monitoring is not possible, and institutional preparedness is one of the biggest things that is talked about these days. So institutions need to be prepared for adopting NEP. So this is a quick short SWOT analysis of NEP 2020. Now we'll focus on today's topic, which is pedagogies as per National Education Policy 2020. What all what all what all are the modes, or what all are the ways or the techniques with which we'll deliver our things in as per NEP. So the objective behind selecting a pedagogy is, first, we need to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education, and it should promote lifelong learning and opportunities for all. We need to equip the students, we need to give them equitable platforms. We need to promote our students that they should learn all the skills every time. They need to relearn many things, they need to unlearn many other things, they need to again learn so many things. So the culture of learning, unlearning and relearning has to be there, which is one of the requirements of NEP. And if I talk about the universities who are there, they need to contribute towards sustainable development goals, in terms of whether it is in terms of research, whether it is in terms of teaching, learning, or any kind of partnerships for SDGs. All these things has to be considered if you will go in for adopting any of the pedagogies. So let us start on the what are the different pedagogies available under NEP. If I talk about pedagogies, first could be experiential learning. That means learning, doing, experimenting the things, learning, learning the fun way. So that is one of the experiential learning. Then second is inquiry based learning. Third is collaborative learning. Fourth is integrating technology into learning. Fifth is art integration. Sixth is personalized teaching. So let us first discuss what exactly experiential learning is all about. Experiential learning basically focuses on learning the practical aspects of each and every subject. If I talk about the practical aspects, it may include certain project based learnings, or maybe you can include field trips, you can include certain projects, you can include certain experiments, simulation models. All these things could be incorporated into your teaching learning, so that a student is able to understand the subject well through the experiences. And the objective of NEP, what the basic objective of NEP, if I talk about the experiential learning, that means every student, NEP is basically focusing on the practical knowledge, or it is basically focusing on how the students are going to get the benefit through this practical application of each and every topic. If I talk about experiential learning, dear learners, this experiential learning is not a new term for we as in Indians. If I talk about our ancient Indian education system, it was totally based on experiential learning, which was known as Gurukul system. In that Gurukul system, we used to follow the we used to the teaching learning was being done through, it was the Guru Shishya Parampara that we used to follow, and every teaching learning was being done through experimentation, was being done through practically doing the things and then learning each and everything. So it was the part and parcel of our ancient education system. If I talk about the Finland education system, it is being focusing 70% on the project and experiment based model. So 70% of their education system is experiential. So of course we can incorporate the first pedagogy that we can use is the experiential learning. I'll just give you one example. I'm teaching accountancy. I'm a commerce professor. Suppose I'm teaching accountancy, what I can do is, I ask my students to learn the various concepts of cost. What are the different types of cost associated? What is variable cost? What is fixed cost? What are the different types of cost? So instead of telling them theoretically or through presentations or through PPTs, instead of doing all these things, what I ask them, I give them a project, that just go to a hawker, or maybe go to a sabzi wala, and just ask him what are the different types of cost that particular hawker is bearing. Then identify which cost is their variable cost, which is their fixed cost, what is their opportunity cost, what is their imputed cost. So that ways they are learning it better. And I asked them to create video also. So they created videos of their whatever was their learning. So that ways you also can incorporate the experiential learning into your teaching learning. Then we'll next talk about the inquiry based learning. If I talk about the inquiry based learning is something which enhance the inquisitiveness of the students. What I will learn, how I'm going to learn, how I'm going to solve this problem, what I basically love the things, what is my interest. If that person is inquiring each time, no, it will help the students to develop their critical thinkings. It will help them to develop their problem solving skills. Apart from that, it helps the students to learn the topic well, to understand the topic well. And if you develop this inquiry based learning amongst your students, your class engagement will be better. And of course, you can collaborate with your students better. So what exactly is the inquiry based teaching learning? Inquiry based learning develops the critical thinking skills, and it promotes questioning and investigation. It promotes questioning amongst the students. And if you ask your students to prepare some questions on this particular topic, ask as many questions as you want. So that ways, please, I'll request you all to motivate your students, motivate the learners to ask the students. If they will ask the students, you will also learn better. And it encourages questioning, investigation, and analysis. Students will explore more. If you'll give some topics for brainstorming, or if you give some topics for having the critical analysis, of course, you go in for some give some case studies for the students, give some research projects to your students, and give them some topics which can be a debate, which can be some open-ended queries in the class. So if you encourage this inquiry based learning, it offers a kind of a blooming environment in the class, and your students will learn better. So we'll discuss, of course, how we can enhance the inquiry based teaching learning. There are different tools for that. We'll be discussing in the later slides. According to Albert Einstein, the important thing is not to stop questioning. You should never stop your students to ask questions. You should motivate them to ask questions. So that ways their inquisitiveness will grow, and they will become a better learner. Next is the collaborative learning. A collaborative learning, if I talk about, suppose if you'll Google what all are the 21st century skills. So if I talk about the 21st century skills, the best 21st century skills that you should learn is the collaboration skills. Of course, you should make your students understand how to collaborate and how to grow better. So if I talk about the collaborative learning, it is basically promoting peer interaction and promoting interaction of students as well as teacher. Because if they'll be building their team spirit, if they'll be having a better collaborative learning, they'll definitely improve upon their communication skills, negotiation skills. And apart from that, they will learn how to be into teams and how to develop better. What could be the examples of such activities that you can undertake in the class? It could be something which is TPS. I think you have already you might have heard about this TPS, which is think, pair, share. You can give some task to your students, ask them to pair, to think that particular activity in form a pair, then think on that particular activity and give the solutions for that particular activity in pairs only. So this could be one. Apart from that, jigsaw activities or group presentations could be one. So give some topics for brainstorming, create groups for students, and for creating groups you can use so many tools available. Some ICT tools are available to create the groups, to have their brainstorming sessions. So that ways, using ICT, you can ask your students to collaborate. You can give them certain assignments, you can give them certain projects, you can give them certain group presentations, with which students uh, will develop the habit of working into teams. They'll have a better communication skills. They'll be better negotiators. So that ways, collaborative learning is one thing which, of course, improve better retention. Collaborative environment, of course, demonstrates the better retention. This is all about the collaborative skills. And if I talk about the next pedagogy, that is integrating technology. As an educator, this is the need of the hour. As an educator, we need to have more and more technology integration into our classes, because with the help of technology these days, students are, they are better learners, in the sense they are the if I talk about Gen Zs, if I talk about alpha generations, they are born with technology. So of course, being the millennials, or being the learners from the generations of baby boomers, of course we need to learn these digi skills also. And if I talk about the technology, of course we should be well equipped with the technology, and we should be well aware of the latest tools and technology which we can incorporate into our classrooms to have better classroom engagements. Blended models, of course, blended mode of teaching learnings could be, or could also be incorporated for the better delivery, and for the better understanding of the students, for the better delivery of the content as well. So that ways, you need to incorporate technology, because as per studies, the students will learn and retain better using ICT tools and blended mode of teaching learning. So that ways, we need to integrate technology. Then next pedagogy could be art integration. What exactly art integration is? You need to integrate art. Art in the sense, art is something which is, something which is related to creativity, which is related to the expression of your ideas. It can be colors, it can be in the form of colors, it can be in the form of mind maps, it can be in the form of graphics, and it can be in the form of animations. So of course, being the educator, it is the much needed requirement that as in part of our teaching learning, you need to integrate art into the things. What basically is art is integrating art into core subjects, and the use of art to enhance engagement. Suppose if I teach a subject using simple, chalk and talk method, it of course it will not be that impressive. If I'll use some PowerPoint presentations or some Canva based presentations, or if I'll use mind maps in the class, of course my students will be better engaged. So that ways, art has to be integrated into the classrooms. What can be the art forms? Of course, apart from that, visual arts, apart from creative arts, you can include certain dramas or music into the classrooms also, for teaching some concept, or some for teaching some literature related subjects. Of course, you can ask students to prepare certain dramas, and they can enact. Using that enactment, they will learn better. What are the benefits? Of course, the understanding will be better, students engagement will be better, they'll be attending your classes with more zeal. So that is this pedagogy all about. Then last is the personalized learning. since there are various other pedagogies also, but as the topic is demanding those pedagogies which is specifically referring to NEP 2020, so I pointed out these pedagogies. And this pedagogy of personalized learning is all about catering the requirement of a specific individual. Here I must tell you all that uh, if you are a professor, if you are a teacher, so in that case you should understand your students better. You should definitely categorize your students in terms of whether they are advanced learners, whether they are mediocre learners, or whether they are slow learners. Because you need, as per NEP focuses on student centric education. You need to provide this education which is catering to the requirement of the students, keeping the students into center. You should continue with your teaching learning deliveries. I just wanted to confirm, am I audible? No?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay.
Then apart from that student centric education, the next is adapting methods in the sense, as per the requirement of the learners. If a student is a slow learner, suppose, you should of course give them some personalized sessions in terms of counseling, in terms of handwritten notes could be there. You can ask your students to prepare the content in terms of chunks. You divide the entire contents in smaller chunks, and you can ask your students to learn those chunks. So that ways the slow learners will you adopt these methods better. They will learn better. And if suppose a student is there who is an advanced learner, his requirements are totally different from the slow learner. So that ways you as a teacher, it is your responsibility to cater to the requirement of each and every type of a learner. And based on the type of a learner, if a student is a slow learner, the methodology will be different. If a student is a fast learner, of course the methodology will be totally different. You need to offer them some HOTS, or maybe the higher order thinking skills related problems. So that ways the things are very different for each type of learner. And according to that, the meeting styles may be different. Meeting styles in the sense, the delivery of those contents and the assessment, the mode of assessment will be totally different. So as in this if I talk about this pedagogy of personalized learning, it focuses of course on the individual needs. And you should understand the needs of each and every type of learners. Their content delivery style has to be very different, and you need to individualize the content as per their requirement. And some studies have shown that the personalized learning can improve the outcomes by 30%. That means if you're catering to the requirement of each and every type of the individual, of course your overall outcome of your teaching learning will be 30% more than the normal teachers. So that ways you should adopt this pedagogy while delivering your lectures. Of course, I can understand that this would be some way tedious in the sense, you should understand each and every type of learner. For that, you can have some entry level behavior test, which we call as ELBT. You can incorporate some entry level behavior test. Using that entry level behavior test, you can assess your learners, whether that learner is a slow learner or a fast learner. You can observe your learners, and then according to that particular learner, you should design your the mode of content delivery, and accordingly you should design the assessment patterns also. So that ways each and everything has to be personalized, because NEP is focusing on the learner centric education. So this was all about the pedagogies. One thing which was very much focused in national education policy, which is Indian knowledge system. The Indian knowledge system includes the knowledge which is existing in India since ancient times. It can be the knowledge which is still existing with the tribal population. It can be the indigenous knowledge, it can be the traditional ways of learning from one generation to other. So what exactly NEP focus, as per IKS, that is Indian knowledge system, it is a guiding light for NEP as the rich heritage of ancient and eternal knowledge and thoughts is available. And no knowledge of India, of course, has to be there. If you're talking a subject, if you're talking about, suppose if I'm talking about commerce, I should incorporate how ancient, how ancient commerce was being, how people used to trade in the ancient time, what was the currency at that point of time was applicable, how the trading was being done, how the commerce has been evolving since ancient times. And apart from that, if I talk about again the commerce or maybe the subjects related to economics, I should definitely tell my students what was the role of Kautilya, what was the role of Chanakya in delivering this Indian knowledge system into the for generating the rich knowledge system in India. So that ways you should definitely incorporate Indian knowledge system in each and every subject. Because if I talk about science, there were so many rishis available. There were so many rishis whose contribution may not be acknowledged at that point of time, but now since we are into exploring the Indian knowledge system, now we are able to understand that Pythagoras theorem was not given by Mr. Pythagoras, of course. And there are so many things. Dalton theory of atomic theory of Dalton, it was not given by Professor Dalton, it was given by Rishi Kanad. So that ways, if I talk about the plastic surgery, it was Rishi Shushruth who has actually given the concept of plastic surgery. So we have got a rich Indian knowledge system, and that should be communicated to students, even at the school level, even at the higher education level. And of course, it is the responsibility of the educators to to learn about the ancient Indian knowledge, and you should deliver those things using the latest technology. So NEP and IKS, that is National Education Policy and Indian knowledge system, basically goes hand in hand. You should incorporate ICT into your teaching learning, and to deliver the things which is there in the Indian knowledge system. These two things goes hand in hand. And one which is the major problem that our students are facing is earlier. This was the earlier scenario. Our education system was something like this. I think you can make out. This is the teacher, and for him, it is for a better selection. Everybody has to take the same test. Please climb that tree, and you can understand. A bird can, of course, climb the tree. Monkey can, of course, climb the tree. But if I talk about this penguin, or if I talk about this elephant, they will not be able to climb this tree. If I talk about this fish, of course, fish or platypus, even this dog, they'll not be able to climb the tree. So in that case, it was basically a failure for these particular set of animals. Same ways, if you judge the entire lot with the capability of flying, will not be able to. Okay. So that ways our education system is changing, it is evolving, and we as an educators, it is our responsibility to understand the requirement of each and every type of learner. These are different types of learners available. So based on their skill set, based on their requirements, we should deliver the content. You should assess them, and you should not make them feel as if they are not the part of the system. The education is not meant for them. But earlier this thing was there, but it is, we are fortunate enough that uh, NEP has come, and apart from that, we as a change maker, we can definitely create this change in the education system. So how we'll be doing this particular thing? We can, of course, use various engagement interaction tools. If I talk about the interaction tools, we can use classroomscreens.com. We can have Padlet, we can have Mentimeter, we can have Peerdeck, BookLab, Poplet. There are so many creative engagement tools with which you can make your classes more interactive. If I just wanted to know, I'll just close this. I just wanted to know from this. Kindly write down in the chat box if you want me to give you some hands-on, experience on. Do you want some hands-on things also related to these tools? So please let me know in the chat box. I will definitely give you the hands-on. Otherwise, I'll just tell you different types of tools available for each and every type of pedagogy. For different pedagogies, you can use various ICT tools. If you're interested, please do write down in the chat box. I am very sure there are 30 plus learners over here, and if you want, please write down in the chat box. Otherwise, I'll just move to the thing, and then we can definitely go in for just the presentation, because I wanted to tell you so many things, so many tools, but if you talk about some hands-on, I'll definitely do so. So this is all about the creative engagement tools. You can even unmute yourself and then tell me if you want some hands-on has to be done for this particular thing. Then uh, if I talk about this classroomscreens.com, let me just give you a quick a snapshot of this particular how this classroomscreen.com works. So I'll just quickly go to this classroomscreens.com. Ma'am, please let me know if my classroom screen is visible to you all or not.
Yes, ma'am. It's visible, ma'am.
Okay. This is the interface of classroomscreens.com. This is one of the platforms with which you can make your classes more engaging. This is how this interface looks like. If you want, you can change the background. You don't like this guitar and all. What you can do is you can change to this background to this particular mode, or maybe if I don't like this, I wanted to change my background to this. So that ways the first option over here is to change the background. So based on your mood, based on the student's mood, based on the weather, based on seasons, you can definitely use this classroom screens, and you can change the background of your classroom, and you can make your students more, if you can make your classrooms more engaging for the students. The next option available over here in the classroom screens is to go in for poll. You can create polls using this, and suppose if you go in for something like this, I'll go for ABC. There are 4 options. What do you think of today's session? This is the question. Suppose if I write here as excellent, good, not so good, and last maybe poor, suppose. So I can create this a poll like this, and once this poll is created, you can see this poll over here, and you can ask your students to join via using this joincsr.com, or else they can join this particular a poll using this code also, 4348325. And there is one more option for the students. You can ask your students to join using this QR code. So if you want, you can also scan this QR code. If this is visible to you all, using your mobiles, kindly scan this QR code. Once you will scan the QR code, any one of you, ma'am, Lakshmi ma'am, or maybe any one of you, kindly scan this QR code. You will be able to understand the things better. If you will scan this QR code, you will be given some option of a question will be there with you. You can opt for any of the options, and same ways, yes, I can. If you have scanned the things, yes. So what do you think of today's session? One of you said good. So that way your students will be able to deliver the things better. Your students will be able to understand. The other two of you said good and one of you said excellent. So that ways you can use this classroom screens to create polls, to create various to get the feedback from the students even. So that ways you can use this classroom screens. Now next is randomizer. Randomizer is a random student selector app. What you have to do is you have to just you have to fill in the names of the students over here. Option is there, you can fill the names of the students, and using the screen you just have to click here. And if I click here, you can see Pratik is there. So in that particular case, Pratik has to answer the things. So if suppose you will click again, you ask your students that whosoever would be the next name will be answering the next question. So in that case, your students will be more attentive. Your students will be more there in the class physically and mentally, because they would be knowing that next could be my turn. So that ways it is a random student selector app, which is already available in this classroomscreens.com. Let me delete this also. I'll just show you quickly what exactly this next is. This is enter your text, anything. If you want to enter, suppose I'm just entering something which is random, and you can create some notes, you can create even the question paper. Create a question paper over here and generate a QR code for this. Again, if you will share this generated QR code to the students, maybe through WhatsApp or something like that, they will not be missing on that question paper. You can ask them, by tomorrow you have to submit your answers. So that ways, or maybe you can give some important questions to the students. Kindly scan, any one of you scan this QR code. Once you will scan this QR code, you will get that content which I randomly wrote on the screen. So are any one of you got the content? Please let me know if you will scan this QR code. Ma'am, are you trying it? Any one of you? Look, dear participants, I just wanted to tell you that we all expect our students to, respond. But we as in teachers, if we will not respond, of course, we cannot expect our students to respond. So that ways, I want this session to be very interactive. So if you scan, of course, this QR code, you will get some content which I already wrote. So are you getting it or not? Please unmute yourself and tell me. Okay,
No, ma'am.
fine. So if you got, yes.
Something different it is coming.
I wrote few things randomly, so that random things would be there, I think. Okay, so that is all about QR code. Then we have got image also. You can upload some image over here. Apart from that, if you want, you can, if you wanted to draw something, suppose if you wanted to, if you want your students to learn something like this, you can of course do, you whiteboard is available. And apart from that, this is something which is a wonderful tool which is there in this classroomscreens.com. This is a traffic light. I ask my students, I usually use this particular thing in my classes. I ask my students that when this red light is there, you're not supposed to even speak, you're not supposed to even discuss the things amongst yourself. Once this yellow light is there, that means you can discuss the things amongst yourself. And once this green light is there, you can communicate those discussions to me also. So that ways, this is something which is a kind of interesting thing for the students, that students are well aware of the things, that if red light is there, that they are not supposed to speak out anything. They'll be just listening to my lecture. And then this is their discussion time. This is their replication or reproduction time. So that ways they can deliver the things from their side. We can have two-way communication, but it has to be very systematic. And this classroomscreens.com is allowing us to make it more systematic. I'm just deleting it. You have got more other tools also. You can use these dies. Let me just tell you. If you are suppose using something which is game, something, some sort of gamification is there, just click here on the slides, the team who is getting 4. Maybe again you can click on these things, some team may get 6. Again you can click, some team again can get 4, 5. This way you can use dice for gamification, for to include gamification in your classes. I'll just delete this one thing once again. This is all about stopwatch. You can use this stopwatch, and you can set any you can make uh, any stop. You can have a stopwatch, and you can ask your students to deliver the things within 10 seconds or 5 seconds, that ways. So this is the stopwatch which is available on your screen, and you can ask the students time up this way. So this is a good a wonderful tool with which you can have so many applications in one tool. So this is all about classroom screens. I'll just come back to my presentation. So we discussed about the all-in-one bundle, that is classroomscreens.com. With using this particular tool, you can make your classes more engaging. You can have a catch hold on every type of learner, whether they are responding or not, because in your classes you may not be having a same type of learner. Some students may be good at writing the things, some students may be good at learning the things while visualizing them. So for them, visualization tools may be used. Some students may be good at learning through listening, so that some people may be good at learning through doing. So that ways, this is one tool with which you can cater to the needs of all types of learners. Apart from that, there are so many other tools. You can use quizzes to make your classes more interactive. You can use No Hands app. You can use Slido. You can use Alternative too. I'll just tell you the one of the applications from one of these tools available. I'll just go to Alternative too. So Alternative 2 is one of those tools with which is my screen visible, ma'am? Is my Google screen
Yes, ma'am.
Alternative 2 is visible? Okay, fine. So Alternative 2 is one of those options which is a wonderful tool for all of us. Suppose you wanted to know about what are the different alternatives available for Google Meet, suppose. If I talk about this Google Meet, so this application is telling you we have 83 alternatives. Might be you have not thought about, apart from Google Meet, you might have heard about Zoom, you might have heard about Jitsi, you might have heard about Big Blue Button, but there are 83 such alternatives available. This is something which is shocking. So of course you can use any of these 83 alternatives. Let me click this for you all, and you will be able to understand. Apart from this Google Meet, you can use Elements, you can use Jitsi Meet, you can use Vectra, you can use Jitsi Desktop, Jammy is there, Zoom is there, Elements X is there. So that ways you have got 83 such alternatives available. Apart from that, suppose Chat GPT is very common these days. Okay, I'll just tell you what are the different alternatives available for Chat GPT. I just wrote here Chat GPT, suppose. It will give you 298 alternatives. Can you see this particular thing? For Chat GPT, you have got 298 alternatives available. Kindly click over here and get to know what alternatives are available. So I clicked over here. For Chat GPT, you can have Google Gemini, you can have GPT for all, you can use Claude, you can use Poi, you can have Microsoft Copilot. So that ways 283 alternatives were available. So I think you can make out how beneficial this this tool is. If you go about the um, interactive tools. This alternative tool is a wonderful tool with which you can, all these tools are very good, but I can only show you few because time is very limited with all of us. So I'll just I had a hands-on on um, uh, classroomscreens.com. I told you about classroom screens, I told you about alternative too. So same ways you can have a screenshot, or else you can kindly, view all these tools. Just go through all these tools and you will learn how to make your classes more interactive using all these tools. Now we'll come to CC. We all have heard about this particular term, which is known as continuous comprehensive evaluation. CC is all about continuous comprehensive evaluation. It is one of the ways and methods of assessing the students. If you talk about the internal assessments, many of us are very much in dilemma what all tools has to be used for assessing the students. So as I told you that it has to be continuous, it has to be very comprehensive, it has to be the evaluation has to be such ways that you should use variety of tools, variety of techniques to evaluate the progress of the students on a continuous basis, on a consistent basis, and it has to be very comprehensive in the sense not only the academic skills but also their other skills has to be evaluated. So that ways there are so many options available, because NEP is focusing on the shift of the this particular assessment from the content based assessment to the competency based assessment. We should comprehend the students on the basis of their competency. We should assess them on the basis of their competency, not on the basis of the content which they are writing in the exams only. So that is there. And apart from that, we should encourage the critical thinking rather than rote learning. So we should discourage the rote learning for the students and encourage the critical thinking for the students. So for doing this, there are so many techniques available for the internal assessment. You can have role plays or class teachings in the class. You can give them some assignments in terms of models. Literature review could be one. Paraphrasing of certain research paper could be one. Book review could be one. Then competitions could be arranged, gamifications could be there, quizzes, oral evaluation, question banks creations could be there. You can ask the students, give them a topic and ask the students to prepare questions. So that will enhance their critical thinking. Peer assessment could be one, debates, research experimentations, video or movie making. As I discussed in the earlier slide, I gave the students some task to create certain videos related to cost accounting, related to types of cost. They've created wonderful videos. So the overall, the assessment can be done using all these tools. So essays can be there, group discussions, then mind map creations could be one. I already talked about book review. So you can give, using all these techniques, you can assess your students better. And this is one of the tools with which you can have the personalized mode of personalized pedagogy for the for assessing your students. Then to make your classes more engaging, to make your classes more effective, you should definitely use videos, you should definitely use podcast or audios. You can use animations or gifs, you can use text, icons, mind maps can be used, images, graphs, infographics can be used. So all these are different multimedia tools for making your teaching more effective. That could be there. Then apart from that, what are the different tools for screen recording? Because these days, students are very much, if you incorporate blended mode of teaching learning into your classroom, you need to give them some contents, you need to give them some videos for the things. And if you are giving them the videos, you need to create them. So before creation, you need to know what are the different screen recording tools available. You can use OBS Studio, Google Slides, MS PowerPoint, Cam Studio, Camtasia, Loom. All these are the options which are available with you all, with which you can create some videos, maybe of 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Hardly, don't create videos more than 10 minutes, because these days the retention span of the students is very less. Plus, attention span of the students is also very less. So that ways, with that reduced attention and retention span, the students are not very much interested to view the videos which is more than 5 or 7 or 10 minutes. So using this particular using this particular concept, even Swayam, the videos which are available on Swayam are even not more than 5 7 minutes or 10 minutes. So this is one of the ways with which you can create micro learning lectures for your students. And apart from that, these are different video or editing, audio editing tools. Audacity is one, WavePad is one, BSDC, OpenShot, Final Cut Pro, Filmora Go. All these are the audio and video editing tools. You can learn these tools, and using all these tools, you can create wonderful videos. You can mix match some, you can edit them, you can add some own content, you can get some content from internet, and all these things could be possible. You should incorporate animations into your content. For that, you use all these tools. Powtoon is there, Plotagon is there, Flash is there, Animaker is there, Open Tunes, Blender, Art of Illusion. Apart from Platagon, Powtoon, and Animaker, all these are the tools which is open source, free of cost, available. Even Powtoon, Platagon, and Animaker, they are also freemium software. Freemium means to some extent they are free, and beyond that, if you wanted to know the advanced, if you wanted to access the advanced applications which is there in that tool, you need to pay. But I don't think so. You can definitely use the Powtoon, Platagon, Animaker. All these tools are easily available, and you can use the free version of their things for making your lectures more engaging. Apart from that, we were talking about integration of art. So that ways, if you wanted to integrate art into your classes, you can use these mind mapping tools. These are different tools available with which you can create wonderful mind maps for the topics which are very complex, or which are very cumbersome, and you can simplify them using these mind maps. You can of course use any of these mind mapping tools available. There are different graphic designing tools available to make your content more engaging. Canva could be one, Krita, Design Wizard, Blender, Topad, GIMP, MyPaint, Inkscape. All these are the wonderful tools available. If you want, of course, I can give you demo of any of these tools available. Canva is one of my favorites. Using Canva, you can create your content, you can create brochures, flyers, you can create presentations, you can have so many things available. You can even create videos using Canva. So that ways, Canva is a good tool. Apart from Canva, all these are the free and open source tools available. You can use any of these tools. Then what are the different, many of the times teachers are very much, or the students are very much confused from where to get the resources for the content. So you can use open educational resources, which is known as OERs. You can use NDL, National Digital Library, Swayam Prabha, EPG Pathshala, CEC, NCRT and iOS, IGNU. All these are the resources from where you can get the content, that too free of cost. You just have to give the reference. So there'll be no plagiarism issue. Then, talking about the sources of study material from web resources, you've got NPTEL, you've got eGyan Kosh, Directory of Open Access Journals, Project Gutenberg, Open Access Thesis, Science Direct Open Access, Shodh Ganga, then Directory of Open Access Books, PDF drives, then social networking sites could be there, academy.edu, open textbook. So like, if I talk about the web resources, these are the wonderful resources. Just go in for any of these resources for your study material. You can get the study material as per your subjects, as per your requirement. You can view any of these tools for your you can refer any of these tools. Now we'll come to the AI based teaching and learning tools. So if I talk about artificial intelligence based, you all might have studied, you all might have heard about ChatGPT, Google Bard, OpenAI, Gemini, and DeepSeek is something which is one of the latest artificial intelligence based tools available with all of us. Of course, we all might have used all these tools, but if I talk about some specific tools which can make your teaching learning more effective, which can reduce your the task which is good, the time for the task which is given to you. You can use any of these tools. Audio AudioPen.ai is one of the tools with which it is an AI powered dictation tool that helps you to transform your voice into text. So if you wanted to translate, or if you wanted to not translate, to transform your voice into textual matter, you can use AudioPen.ai. And Gamma is a wonderful tool for creation of interactive presentations. If you wanted to create interactive presentations, you can use Gamma. Then if you wanted to make quizzes for the students, that too AI based, you can use quizzes.ai. Then Canva Magic is one with which you can easily you just have to give one prompt to that Canva Magic, that you want some presentation like this. It will create the presentations for you all within 5, 7, 10 seconds at max. Then Edu.ai is one of the tool, a wonderful tool with which you can have AI assisted lessons. If you wanted to develop the lessons, you can use these tools. Then again, Napkin.ai is one of those tools with which you can create infographics, charts, any such diagrams with the help of PDF. If you want, if you have a PDF, if you want to if you have some word content, and if you wanted to create diagrams or infographics from that particular PDF or word content, you can use Napkin.ai. If you want, I can show you the demo of this also. Then Questionwell is one of those AI assisted tool with which you can create wonderful assessments for the students. QWEN, that is QN, is one of those tools with which you can create content, lessons, assessment, whatnot. Then Llama is the language understanding and content generation tools for solving the complex problem. It is basically used by the language or literature related educators. Then talking about AI based, again, the teaching tools, Kahoot is one of the quiz generation assessment tools. Then Wolfram Alpha is one of the tools with which mathematics educators can, using this particular tool, mathematics students or the educators can solve the complex problem step by step, and they can simplify the things. Then Note GPT or Speechify is both the tools are there for making the interactive lessons. Then DALE 2 or DALE is basically a tool with which you can generate image out of these tools. Then Educator AI or Quizlet, this is used for creating flashcards or quizzes. Then Edpuzzle or InVideo is for creating interactive video lessons for your classes. Then Synthesia is basically to transform your text into video content. If you want, if you have given some text to this Synthesia, and if you want to convert this into video, of course, using avatars and all, it will develop videos for you. Then this last is Gradescope. Gradescope is I must say, a latest AI-based tools with which you can automatically grade the students. You can evaluate the students even on the basis of their handwritten, if some handwritten notes are available, if some handwritten content is there, you wanted to evaluate, you can use this Gradescope. Using this Gradescope, you can evaluate your students better. Then if you talk about since NEP is focusing more on research, we've got 4-year degree program wherein in the 4th year we focus more on research. So you should know what are the different AI based research tools. So Julius is there with which you can analyze your data using computational AI. Then Sourcely is there to get the database, the source of the of your research paper. Then Paper Guide is there for literature review. Jenny.ai is there with which you, if you want to have some content written using Jenny AI, so you can use Jenny AI for writing that content for you But of course, you need to use a better prompt in that particular case. Consensus is again the AI assisted academic search engine, with which you can search various research papers, you can have a review of those research papers. Then avidnode is there, which enables you to write and read the research papers faster and analyze all the research data which is all available in those research papers. Then research rabbit is there, wherein you can get some free scholarly publications. Apart from that, data line is very similar to Julius, wherein you can analyze your data. Then ref and write. Ref and write is a tool which is used for references, and it is also used for paraphrasing, proofreading, plagiarism checking, and so many tasks can be done using ref and write. So this is basically all about my session. If I talk about the future scope of education, we will be using more of blended learning with AI. Of course, blended learning was there, but now AI is being integrated into that. Collaborative teaching learning would be there. Usage of more multimedia, graphics, GIFs, animations, that would be there. Growth of open educational resources and Gen AI would be there. Generative AI would be more into usage. Then 3 A's of learning would definitely be there. Anyone, anytime, anywhere can learn. Then the concepts of MOOC has already come, but the concepts of meta universities would be coming very soon. Some courses can be done from, suppose, Oxford University, and some courses can be done from Chennai University, some courses can be done from Mumbai University. So the concept of meta university would be coming. Then learner centric education would be the main focus of NEP. So that ways increased student role would be there. So that is all from my side. I think now a last note from my side would be, you need to start now. Start where you are. Start with little. Start with fear. Start with doubt. Start and don't stop. You just need to start, dear all participants. Thank you so much for your wonderful, patientful listening, and for your interaction that you have done. And I think we have got 10 minutes left with